Hi, this is Hannah Erica of Hannah E Gets Crafty. Welcome back to my channel. I got this little dresser from Facebook Marketplace for $5. I told you in my furniture flipping video how great these deals are out here. Okay, I'm doing this little kind of a collaboration with my boyfriend. We have a separate channel, Mike and Me Adventures. I was supposed to start my furniture flipping with him like a year ago or 2 years ago, but we just never worked together, and I finally pushed ahead and done this thing on my own. But he's looking at me doing this. He has some ideas to make it better. And so I welcomed it. Of course, why wouldn't two minds be able to do a better job than one mind? So of course I'm cleaning it off. The handles were tough to come out. Sometimes they were like, I can't explain it. It's like it was stuck inside of it and needed to be forced out. It didn't even have screws on the other side of it. It was just forced in. So it was dirtier than I thought, even though it looked pretty good when we first picked it up. Like, this is the first day we got it and put it straight onto the porch. And I was determined to get this thing done in like 24 hours. I wanted to do like a 24-hour flip, but my boyfriend come up with ideas to make it better. He's telling me, oh, this strip looks dated, and it does. But like I said, this is a laminated piece, and I didn't want to, I guess, invest into too much. It's laminated. I just thought, get the handles pretty, give it a nice paint, and put it online. But he's, thinking about different ways to make it better. And I don't want to shut down that enthusiasm. So I just let him take it off. And I also need to push myself more with my projects, give them more of a transformation. So I was a little bit nervous because it's laminate and I did not want to damage the piece. It wasn't wood. I guess I could have used a wood filler if it was damaged, but I told him, like, this is your idea, take it off. So that's what he's doing, removing the decorative piece that kind of has a dated look. Like, once you see that piece, you kind of already know. A lot of dressers come with that on there. So I was happy to see it go. I will talk about the bottom piece. He told me about the top and the very bottom border at the feet. And I guess I wasn't really understanding what he was saying or his idea, but we eventually did it his way, and it was nice. Here, just giving it a scuff sand. I did put a little bit of wood filler in different places where it was just like a hole here and there. And I taped the bottom because my original plan was to keep the bottom kind of wood-like, but that all changed.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay.
I don't know if this is your first time watching, but I have a couple of cool videos, especially if you want to get into furniture flipping. I am an amateur, but I can give you some tips on what I've been doing, and I do have a video out about furniture flipping. Okay, this is time for me to put the primer on, and I do 2 coats of primer. With a laminate piece, I just gotta put it on. For sure. I feel like I'm losing the daylight a little bit, so I'm kind of eager to get started. I'm just smoothing it out. I normally do this with the primer, and I might not show it, but I do a light sanding in between just to make sure everything is laid down. I was irked by pieces of the brush coming off because, I mean, these aren't cheap brushes, you know, and to see some of the pieces of the hairs coming out, it just drove me nuts. And the roller just helps me get a lot on, you know. I like to just apply a lot and then smooth it out. This is the first coat, so I didn't want to get crazy. Just wanted to get it on and get it even, and so I lined all the drawers up so I can kind of hit them all at the same time. At this point, I'm well aware that I will not be getting any paint on it as far as the color, that I would be just priming it because I was losing the daylight and I still needed it to kind of set in between the primer and the color. I like to wait 2 hours and not just 1 hour. If it was just primer, hey, I'll hit that in 40 minutes if it's just the exact same color. But I just wanted to make sure it was completely dry. And so I already knew that I would just be doing primer. My boyfriend did mention the piece at the top, like maybe that's a dated look. But I had to remember that this was supposed to be like a quick flip. It wasn't going to be something I'm trying to get a lot of money for. It's a laminated piece, and I wanted to do a few things and make it look more appealing, a little more upgraded. But the whole idea was to keep it simple. Like sometimes doing a whole bunch is not going to get you any extra money. It should look nice and have some sort of uniqueness to it, would help it sell better, but nothing too out there. But as you see later, it did not turn out the way I thought it would be. I was supposed to keep this very, very simple, but it did not turn out very simple. So I'm hyped. I'm like, I know it's getting dark. I turned the porch light on. I am getting the second coat on here because I know that this is all I can really do this day. So I said, get the second coat on. And then tomorrow, you will start with the actual color. Even though it was getting dark, it was such a beautiful night. But I said, I've got to finish this. Finally got it all done. I was super excited. And then I look up at the sky and it was just gorgeous out there. Next morning, I have some leftover navy chalk paint. I had to get 2 cans to finish up my other navy dresser I did that was laminated. And I know people are like, why are you putting navy on another dresser? But I'm like, I swore my plan was to do something different with it while using up some paint that is a very popular color. Painting things navy and black, or navy or black or white, is a very, very popular color for flipping. A lot of people are interested in that look for their bedroom. If you think about bedroom furniture, you would think about, black, white, navy, or brown for that matter, but like a stained look. So I said I'm going to use the rest of this navy chalk paint on this $5 dresser I got. Do a couple of things to make it more interesting, upgrade it, and then just flip it. It was a nice day in the early afternoon, and I just got right to work. I try not to go too crazy. It's the first coat, so I'm like, it's the first coat. Don't overstress yourself about it. And then I did a little scuff sand, which I normally don't even do this on camera. But I said, I never do it on camera. Let me just do it. It's a very, very light sander, just to kind of smooth out anything that's just not feeling good on the hands to touch. And you always see my stuff fall off. I don't know what's going on with the things I use, but I can't keep them inside. So just a light scuff sand everywhere. You see the bottom is still separated because I still had this idea of trying to darken it like a dark brown and leave it there for contrast. I did not know what I was going to do with the middle part, but I took the, dated decorative part off. Like I said, my boyfriend has ideas, so I said, let's do it. This is the second coat. I did put 3 coats. When I paint, I definitely do 3 coats. I don't always prime, but if I'm going to paint it, it is 3 coats. Or if I'm painting wood and I don't prime, because if I paint wood, I'm less likely to prime than laminate. Laminate, I always seem to prime. But if I'm painting wood, I could just paint it directly on it, and I can do 2 nice coats if it's such a good, it sticks really well with the wood. If it's really well, I can just do the third as more of a touch-up, like just turning it around upside down, like looking around, seeing if anything just needs it. So that's what I do with that. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, and you want to follow up with what I'm doing and subscribe to my channel. It is a fairly new channel. I didn't always post everything that I did on the channel, but I just decided to try to grow it. So if you like what you see and you think that I could do things that inspire you to do your own thing and you could learn something, then subscribe to my channel. I did touch up the inside a little bit more later. I realized that I should have went inside more. So a little bit later, I don't think I have it on film, but I touched it up a little bit more. I used the antique gold that I used in another video. There's so much left of it, and I decided to do the handles like that. I tried to wash it first, but you see they're all crazy and peeled off. I guess they were metal, which is not surprising for a laminate piece. And I saw someone screw their handles onto something, so I thought it was kind of cool. So I made this thing where the handles can kind of sit up and be held, so that I can work on them and they can dry standing up. As much as I like this color, I don't like painting handles. And so recently I bought this antique gold metallic spray. Well, it's not metallic, it's called antique gold, and it's just like a spray. And I will be using that from now on because I'm just, I don't know, when it's handles, it just seems easier to kind of spray it. But I do like the gold for little touches here and there, and maybe something a little bit different. But this painting it is more work than spraying it. Spraying it, you can kind of lay it all in one position, spray a little coat, and then come back and then change them around and spray it. So I'm going to tell you, this is more work. But at least I have so much left of it, and I can use it, so many more times. And I did have a gold spray, and the nozzle stopped working. Okay, this is when I decided to use a little wax. I thought I was getting close to the end, so I decided to try to wax out because it's so scary and I never could seem to get it right or buff it enough. So I decided just to kind of do the drawers. The drawers handles are going to be gold. I thought that would be unique enough. At this point, the base wasn't working for me, so my boyfriend is working on a different base. I'm going to show you that a little bit later. We're working on that, but I just wanted to try it out around the drawer handles, around the drawers, just to see how the wax is. And I think later, but the same day, I knew that the drawers needed something. It just seemed a little too plain to just have the drawers and have gold handles and a new base. telling him it needed something. It needs something. But I decided to keep working on this piece because I felt like I needed to try to get better at waxing. And then my cat, he just wants some attention, and then, you know, he's a little sad because I can't sit down and pet him. But I'm just trying to polish it up. I am using Dixie Belle's wax. I bought a small amount. Where did I get this from? Amazon? They didn't have the whole layout. They had some on Amazon. But I swear, no matter how I buff, it doesn't seem to like just come together. I don't know. It seemed okay. Like it just took a lot to kind of buff it, and then I don't know. So I'm kind of all over the place, buffing and buffing and buffing. I did not want to use polyurethane because it tends to have that issue people say, like the clear kind of look, like you can see like the coating on top, and I just wanted it to be something that would kind of enrich the paint, deepen it, because chalk paint tends to look a little dry and very, very matte, and I just wanted something to kind of deepen it. And so I had to keep kind of working at it and take my time. But I don't show a lot of it because I don't think I'm much good at any of it, and I don't want to mislead anybody. Waxing is very, very difficult. So I decided to do another kind of design, and I know I've done this with the other dresser, so you're probably rolling your eyes at this point, but I thought I would do something that's a little bit different with it. And since I was working on the handles being gold, I thought, okay, maybe I do this mandala in gold, which I had to retape it because you see I'm taping over some holes. So I did that in gold. I also came up with another idea to deepen the gold of the outside. So basically I was putting nice light antique gold, and then I came up with the idea to mix the gold with a little bit of this black licorice to try to make a deepened gold color. I don't know. I like fading something into something else. So if I think of an idea to possibly do that, I'll do it. But don't get too excited about that because it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to be. Yeah, I guess if I would have had a more natural piece of furniture I was working with, I could have had more options. I didn't want to get too dark because the navy was dark, and I wanted to not be able to see. I wanted it to be seen. So I was afraid of it getting too dark. And then I decided to dab just gently. I should have put less on there, but I've done so much stenciling, I guess I was a little confident. The only issue I have is that I got this stencil from a craft store, Michael's. I do like the store, but the problem is this stencil is cardboard, and I do not endorse that for for this kind of use. My issue is I should have pulled off the cardboard right away. Instead, I decided to dab it and then do the outside darker, and then I said, you know what, let me leave this on and come back and dab some more because I can get the color to deepen instead of doing only one coat. And that was the issue. So this was not a perfect crisp, stenciling job. Okay, Michael made some headway. He had the dresser upside down, pulled the piece off, and then came outside and he was making headway with the base. He was talking about the base and he's gonna stain it. So I come back in here like, okay, watched him for a little bit. Let me pull this paper off and see what it looked like. And that's when I realized the difference between cardboard and plastic. It gets stuck. So I was not happy about that. I was just not happy about that. It's an understatement. It was just like, what in the world? So I grabbed some tools and I said, let me just kind of pick at it. But even as I was picking at it, I can see that I'm not going to get what I want out of this. I saw some bleed through and I can't get all these pieces off. So I went back and watched some YouTube videos. Anyone have any suggestions on what happens when you get bleed through? And so I decided to make it distressed, which is one of the suggestions. I should have it in the description because I really thought it was really cool. So I'm gonna find that YouTube video, and so you can see how she does it, since she was really great. So I decided to just kind of distress it up, and I did search. So there are distressed versions of the mandala. So it wasn't like I invented it or anything, or done something bad with it. It was something that has already been done. And so I decided to try to work on mine to get it more distressed and cleaned up at the same time. While I'm working on this, meanwhile, Michael is upstairs with the pieces already stained and dry. He's going to be putting that onto the dresser. Just as I thought, he was up here working on this piece. And then he also was fixing the dresser, putting in the handles. It needed a little hit to get inside. You can see underneath the metal piece is missing, but we did put it on. It just needed to be screwed on. And then I decided it needed a little something else special. I got the antique gold and I taped it down because I don't have a steady hand. And I decided to line the trim with gold, and I went back and did the drawers with gold. A lot of tape and just trying to keep my hand steady because I don't have that steady hand that I see on people's videos to get this kind of look. And I said it just needed something. And you see this wood filler on top of, the wood pieces he stained, which he's gonna have to sand and adjust a little bit later. And he's working on the handles, so I decided to work on this last minute touch that I thought would make the dresser look better. I don't normally work in my living room, but it's just we have pieces everywhere. There's just barely any place to work. I had like a piece in the garage, two in the basement, one in the corner on the porch, and it's just, oh gosh. So this is in the living room. Ah, that worked out. So now this is the before shot of the little laminate dresser. If you remember what it looked like. And now this is the after photo. I think it looks great. I know it could be too much for some people, and maybe doing blue again is a disappointment, but please let me know what you think. Thanks.